Huh. Well played, sir. Well played. Hey guys, welcome to Super On Point Reviews. My name's Steve, and in this video we'll be going over the NECA Pacific Rim NECA Gipsy Danger Hong Kong Brawl Edition. This has been dubbed by the fanbase as Gipsy 2.0, and you may be asking yourself, why do we need another Gipsy Danger? We already have two of them, and that's not even including the 18-inch tall one, so this is technically Gipsy number 4. And then there's already been, spoiler alert, Gipsy number 5 is going to be coming out, which is the Anchorage edition, where he's all battle damage and has the cannon. And I think it's a cool idea what they're going with the Gipsy here, where they're kind of making each Gipsy kind of work with each of the kaijus. Like this one will be working with Otachi, which is coming out next year. You have the Anchorage one that's going to be working with battle damage knife head. The original one can kind of go with Otachi or regular knife head for all that matters. And the battle damage one can be kind of like Schooner's little best friend. And then with that, you could kind of have separate set pieces on your shelf and have all these little dioramas going on, so that's kind of cool. But I can understand that if some of you don't really need multiple Gipsy Dangers in your life and you're just looking for that one specific one to go really well with your collection. This one's already winning for me just because he has a boat in there, but we'll know more about it after we get him opened up. So for the packaging, it's pretty much your standard Pacific Rim fare we've been getting for a little while now with the clear open plastic packaging. It's got a nice little display at the top here with this kaiju kill count at 10, so that's pretty sweet. On the bottom here just tells you more about Gipsy Danger with this, what edition he is with the Hong Kong Brawl. Also he's super articulated, which we'll go over in a minute. And for the back of the packaging, you got a really nice image of the figure in the packaging with him gripping onto the boat, which is awesome. He's a Mark III Jaeger, and on the bottom here just tells you some of the other figures that are going to be released with Tacit Ronin, Anchorage Attack Gipsy Danger, and Romeo Blue, which you guys are already on pre-order. Well, that's pretty much it. Let's get him open up out of his plastic prison. First, we're going to go over his accessories, which he comes with these pair of clench fists, which look very nice. Got a lot of very nice details in here. And they're just the same metallic dark blue paint and a little bit of blacks in there that the body is too. So it's really cool. And then how you easily get these on here is all you got to do is you take the hand, you tug on it a little bit till the hand pops out. Take the Mechanolith fist and just cram it in there. Which on mine, it's really tight, but once you get it in there, it looks really cool. Looks like he's about ready to sock somebody in the face and maybe get him into his rocket pose, which I'll show you guys how easy that is to do in a little bit. Cough, cough. But pop the hand back off. Put this one back on, so we're going to need these hands for the next accessory we're going to go over, which is the boat, which is probably the biggest reason to actually pick up this figure. Love the details on it. Has this clear paint on here to kind of give it more of a wet look to it. Really love the damaged look here with the imprints for the hand, which is actually very useful because these little imprints right here is where the hand actually slots into, which I'll show you guys in a sec. And then some of the other details right up here for the top part of the freighter. The only thing that's a little bit odd is the majority of this is this black paint and just kind of flat looking. A little bit of gloss here and there just kind of give it a little bit of wet look to it. But it's kind of odd that they went with a more gloss top for the top of these because it's a little bit distracting when compared to pretty much everything else on this boat. But it still looks really nice, and overall I'm pretty happy with this. And how you get it into his hand is that for his right hand, you're going to take this part right here and rest his thumb into it. And then you just bring it around, and each of these little holes is for each of his fingers. And once you get in there, he actually holds onto it very nice. It's just mine has a really loose ball joint here on his hand, so he kind of just flails around with because of the weight. And it will pop out, but it still stays in there pretty securely, from what I've noticed. And then for his lower hand, what you're going to want to do is, this is the part where his thumb goes into. So you just bring his hands around, tuck his thumb into there, and press his hand in there. Then there you got him holding his boat, which I'll back up real quick just to show you guys a little bit better view. Alright, here he is holding his freighter, and it looks really nice. I really love this overall pose with him holding it. I kind of wish that you could get his hands to move out a little bit farther and get a little bit more range of motion. Because if you want him gripping up both hands, this is pretty much about as good as you're going to get it. You can get a little bit more inwards and outwards, but it's kind of hard to get a little more angled at it. But it does look really nice. It's a very nice accessory for him and very fitting. I kind of wish there was a little bit better way of having him drag the boat behind him than just kind of flipping his arm upside down. But other than that, you would just kind of let go of it easily. So, because it'd be cool to kind of have him drag in the building, bring it up to Itachi when that figure decides to come out. But it's still a really nice accessory for him, and I'm very glad that he comes with it. And then, to show you guys how to get his chain blade in, which they only give you one of these, but I really like the position that they got in, because the original set that we got was open for the battle damage version, which looks really nice, but it kind of looks like it's more meant to be kind of flailing around and loose and not actually being more of a weapon. While this is full-blown blade form, except for mine is a little bit bent and wavy, so it seems a little bit more appropriate to be using this if it was going to be shaped like that. Nothing some heat can't fix, but it still looks really nice. Like, I really love the paint job on it, and once I decide to get this thing flat, and it'll look really nice. So right here, there's a little slit here, and what you do is you just pretty much just insert the chain blade into it. And what's nice is it stays in there very securely, which was kind of a problem that I had with the battle damage Gypsy, where if you started moving or it touched anything, it would pop right out. So that's really nice that they made it a little bit larger and elongated to fit in there a little better. And then he has one over here on this hand too, just to show you guys real quick. There we go. So it gives you a little bit of options. It would have been nice to maybe have gotten two with it, but for that entire Hong Kong sequence, you only really see him with the one. So it's very fitting for him, so I'm still happy that they gave us the one with it. And especially since we got the boat anyway, so what more do you need? So I'll do an early comparison just because it's the easiest way to show you what pretty much changed between this Gipsy Danger and the original ones that we got. Because these two are pretty much the exact same, except for they just got a little bit of a different paint colors. Because this one's just supposed to represent more battle damage look. While on him, you can see that he's slightly taller than the other Gypsies. And also has a lot more details in his body. And I'm just going to get this one out of the way real quick. The Gipsy 2.0 is definitely the more darker blue of the two. And it is a very clean looking figure, while this one was designed to look a little bit more scuffy. And you can also see on the body there's just a lot more molded details on it than what we got with the previous Gypsy. Same here with the abdomen region. It's got a little bit more details. And then for the arms here, it has a lot more paint on it than what we got originally. It's also not nearly as big on the original Gypsy. Like, his arm's freaking huge. Then for the back here, it's not a whole lot noticeable difference, other than it's just a little bit more paint actually on the original one than on the newer one. So that's a little bit of a bummer actually, but nothing too major. And then right here you can see for the bottom part of the legs, that changed a little bit. And it has a lot more design right there. And for the lower part, actually this leg has definitely a lot more design on it than the original one. So that's pretty cool. A little bit more paint application on it. And then with the feet, nothing too much different going on here. You can just notice that the Gipsy 2.0 definitely has a lot larger nubs right here than the original one has. So his feet are a little bit larger in that regards. It's missing some paint here, while this Gipsy Danger and also the battle damage one had some paint there too. While this one's lacking a little bit of it. And for the upper part of the legs, there's definitely a little bit more going on here with the pistons up here at the legs. And a little bit more details going on here, especially like right here on this plate here. So if you decide to get Gipsy 2.0, he definitely has a lot more going on to him just aesthetically than what we got with the original Gypsies. Or I'll just go over some of the details with it. Really love the head sculpt on here, which is also a new addition. And one thing that is awesome in comparison to the original one is you can actually move the head. I'll just go over that articulation with you real quick. It's not so hard to get this thing going. Mine's a little bit stiff still, but he has promise at least. And I really love the body here, and especially another thing I should point out to you is the cores on here his is actually a very bright orange and yellows, while his is darker and kind of blended with everything else, and I really like how contrasting that one is. And the rest of the body details look really good on him. Really like the arms here. Has the 34, which is very accurate. Really wish they could have somehow crammed that little, the pinup girl somewhere around here, but oh well. And then, again, for the rest of the body, looks very good. Really love the paint job on here. It has a lot of dark blues, blacks, and a whole little bit of red accents here and there. It's really helped to make them pop and just very eye-catching. And the back here with his more skeletal spinal section. Looks really sweet. And overall, just in terms of detail, he is definitely far superior than what we got with the original Gipsy Danger. And in terms of articulation, again, the head can move, so that's already a bonus. He can look a little bit side to side. Just got to play with it a little bit to get it to move, but he's got definitely a lot more promise than the other Gipsy did. For shoulders, the shoulder pad here actually has a little bit of articulation, so it gives you a little bit of movement. And then his shoulders here can move forward, backwards, a little bit up and down. It's still hindered by the shoulder pad, but you get a little bit more play with it. And then for his elbows, you can move his elbow up about yay far, down about yay far. And one thing to point out too is it hasn't happened yet, but these little bicep parts pop off really easy because they're not actually glued in. So if you guys want to solve that problem, just super glue does wonders. And then he also has a ball joint here. And there it goes. Damn it. Found it. Alright, so for the arm here, it has a rotation right here, which it can go all the way around, but it takes a little bit of play. And then he also has a rotation here at the upper part of the bicep, but again, this starts sliding around real easy when you're messing around with that. And his hands are on a ball joint, so you got a nice rotation and a little bit of bend to it. His abdomen actually has a very nice crunch to it. A lot of movement to it, so that's really nice and kind of helps to deviate from the lack of waist articulation. And then right here for his legs, has a rotation right here, which they didn't have on the original. Can move forward about yay far, backwards about yay far. And then his knees actually have a double joint here, which is really nice. The only issue is on this leg for mine, I don't know if it's glued in because it looks like there's a little bit of wetness in there. But that joint will not move for me. His knee can bend in about that far. And just show you what I'm talking about, because they're supposed to move right here too. So you can get a lot of bend to it where he's just kind of doing the schoolgirl jumper. He's like, yeah! And then for his feet, pretty much the exact same that we have with the original Gipsy, which I maybe would like to see a little bit more elongation here just to give him a little bit of a pivot to it. But you get a rotation with his feet, and then he also has a bend up here at the front part of his toes. So over onto articulation, he's definitely an improvement there too with a lot more range of motion. The one thing that I would have loved to have seen though, and I'll just gotta swap a couple of things real quick, is that he can't actually do the rocket fist, which is a little bit of a bummer because like there's a scene with him in the leatherback where he's kind of looking at him and see the rockets come out of his elbow. He's like, punches him right in the face. And it would have been nice to have seen a little bit more articulation here, maybe elongate this a little bit more just so that it could bend in a little bit more. And actually, it's probably more of a shoulder problem too as well. But what kind of helps too is that if you don't actually glue this in, is you can slide this up and down a little bit more to get a little bit more articulation. So on a second note, this might not be the best thing to actually glue in. But if you really are not going to be playing with this guy and moving around as much, that is definitely an option I would probably look into. But if you want to play with this guy a lot, then you probably want to leave these things alone. So for some quick comparison, here's Hong Kong Gipsy compared next to NECA's Leatherback and Knifehead. And here he is with some of the other more articulated Yegas with Cherno Alpha and Tacit Ronin. And pardon my ugly curtains, but here he is compared next to the 18-inch tall NECA Gipsy Danger. And here he is with Failhead. So overall, Hong Kong Gipsy Danger, I still really like this figure. I can totally understand if you guys feel the need that you don't need him in your collection because you already own the original Gipsy Danger, so why would you guys need this guy? And yes, he's not nearly as important as, say, the newer Knifehead is to pick up because the original Knifehead was eh. But I still think they did a great job at updating the articulation and the details on the guy and giving us some sweet accessories to go along with him. So if you guys are planning on picking up Otachi and really love Pacific Rim, I still think this guy is still a worthy addition to your collection. So what do you guys think? You guys excited about Pacific Rim 2? You guys excited about the Otachi figure coming out? Or is one Gipsy more than enough for your collection? Please let us know in the comments. We'll post our pictures on Facebook. You want to click the link description below. Please don't be afraid to share this video around. And if you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.